What's up, you cool kids? Mark with Vox Academy here, and today we're checking out Northlane, Clockwork, and this is gonna be kind of fun because it's been a while since I listened to Northlane. I've certainly heard the band before, but it's been a hot minute, so I'm excited to kind of see where they're at and what they're doing. This song was suggested to me by the old business partner here, so I don't know. Let's see, how recently did the song come out? 2021, this year, so not too long ago. Yeah, it'll be fun to hear what they're doing and what they're up to now. If you're new to the channel, again, my name is Mark. I am a metal vocalist in 3 bands, Kardashev, Neverbreath, and Viramia, Kardashev being the most active. I am also a vocal coach specializing in harsh, gritty, distorted vocals. So gutturals, highs, mids, nasty, tunnely sounds, your deathcore, your death metal stuff, and everything sort of in between. Now, we try to take the reaction format, we try to break it down, have fun, and also make it kind of educational, so you walk away having learned something from this as well. And if you did, let us know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe if you have fun. If you really enjoy the content and you want to support the channel, feel free to check us out on Patreon. Certainly don't have to, but we do have a cool community that you might want to jump in on. We've got monthly events. It's a lot of fun stuff. So anyways, let's go ahead. Let's check out Northlane, Clockwork, and let's see what's going on. Let's check it out.
I'm running out of time. I'm running on a feeling song. I'm running out of time.
Okay, so let's take a second to talk there. I always try to listen for transitions and use points like that to talk. A couple things I'm noticing, I don't want to front load the video too much, but a couple things I'm noticing that I'm really enjoying are, number one, his contrast in the opening to kind of bring you into the song, right? You've got that light and airy tone. Oh, right there, ha, right? I don't know the melody, of course, so I'm not going to try to replicate it, but we've got this softer voicing, hey, right there, and then he moves to more of a belted tone, right? Obviously pulling us in. And that's a really solid transition. A lot of the times when we're taking our full voice past our vocal break, past that yodel point, right there, right? Our goal is to hold those vocal folds together without squeezing down on the neck. That's really the that's like really the trick. How do we carry our full voice up past that break without sounding like we're squeezing? And he's doing that excellently well, especially where, I don't remember the notes, but he did like this ooh-oh, ooh-oh, ooh-oh type of sound, and he did a little run at the end of there. That was classy. That was choice. Let's keep going, though. I'm sure we'll be able to talk a little bit more about it later. I also want to hear these screams he's got going on. Really, from the bit I've heard so far, very balanced. Yo, these screams are awesome. Like, these screams, so good. So one of the things that's kind of the marker of like this genre. Now, I don't necessarily know which genre I would place Northlane in. If you know which genre they identify as, let me know in the comments below, just because it's always kind of fun to know that sort of thing. But one of the markers of this style of screaming, right? Because we hear this and he's using, you know, a similar distortion. Like you could put this in the fry category, I think. Although, you know, really when we hear these gritty distorted belts, which is really what these are, there's a balance of multiple things going on. So I'm not really a big fan of saying like this is a false chord or this is a fry, because while we can start there, a lot of what we do is about finding our own groove with the baseline level distortion. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? I'll just start over. Who cares? We don't have to cut it there. We don't have to cut it. Leave it all in the video. But essentially, there's a lot of solid balance. Ah, yes. And the marker of the genre is that his screams are still open. Ah, and his teeth are showing and he's bright. Now, I'm more of like a guttural, gurgly kind of guy. That's more of what I do. But like if I take most of my screams and I do like ooh, vowels, it's going to sound like deathcore, like death metal, right? Now, if I take like more of a mid distortion or a high distortion, right? And I start to open up. Now, I'm not going to sound like this guy because this is not the genre of music that I personally do, right? But if I add a little true tone to it, I could start working more towards what he's doing, right? I'm opening up. I'm utilizing a high place distortion that's far away from my vocal folds. There are degrees of separation from where the grit is being generated up in the back of the throat, you know, the arytenoid cartilages, the back of the mouth, the palatine arch. They also have a palatal pharyngeal arch, I think they're also called. It's been a while since I hung out with anatomy textbook. But that separation with the brightness of tone and the brighter vowels is kind of what sets this style apart and makes it sound different from like your deathcores and your death metals. Let's hear those screams again and then keep going. There's also one section where he sort of like pulled the scream up and it sounded really sinister. I liked that. Let's go, I don't know, how about here? Nice. I want to pause there because listen, that is masterful screaming. That right there, it's a straightforward scream, but good God, he's got control over that, right? So notice he's holding a note, right? Up in that fourth octave. I can't just hear it and name the note, right? But he's holding that pitch. His voice is not breaking or cracking. And sometimes, you know, we utilize a cracky, breaky voice for a scream. We need to work into that, right? So I'm not saying that if that happens, it's bad. But with this, like, he has got that pitch even, controlled. His vocal folds are not squeezed together. There's a lot of safe, like, there's no distortion basically existing in that glottal space. This is all happening from up above, and you can hear that because his pitch is perfectly even and his distortion is like TV static. Sometimes people will in recording sessions, what they'll do is they'll put their clean note as one track and then a pure textured scream over another. And they're not like cheating or anything. They're just doing that to achieve a specific sound. That's not what's happening here. I could be wrong, but I really don't think so. That is his scream, and it is that in control. And he is doing that by staying super open and relaxed, really accessing that support, right? So he is bearing down on that support. He is engaging those abdominal muscles, holding those ribs open ideally, right? And letting his voice lift up and out. It sounds great. I want to catch that one last scream again, and then we'll keep going. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna pause it here. Don't at me. But now we have his scream almost pure texture, especially in that transitional point. And it does sound like he's doing like this, right? And we are definitely getting into Fry territory when we start making those sorts of sounds, right? We're definitely getting into like a Fry scream. That was so sick. Listen to that again. And then he brings a little bit of tone in underneath it. Oh man, that was cool. That was so cool. Let's go about here. All right, I'm going to pause it there again because I have one more thing I want to talk about. So, you know, one thing that a lot of people come to me with, a lot of my students, oftentimes people will come to me and they'll be able to make the distorted sound, right? Whatever that sound may be. You know, if it's closer to like this, right? If it's more of that sound, or if they're going for more of like the, like those types of sounds, they'll be like, Mark, I can make these sounds, but they hurt like crazy. Why does it sound correct and yet it hurts? 9 times out of 10, the reason for that is a combination of resonance placement and breath support. We can think of our voice, right? And this isn't just the way that I think about it. This is a common way for people to look at it. We can think of our voice as three ingredients, like a 3-ingredient dish. And those ingredients are breath support, resonance, and phonation, right? Proper breath, proper resonance, and proper phonation, right? Now, phonation, I mentioned it a lot, but if this is your first Carvox Academy video, phonation is just speech sounds, right? When I'm utilizing my vocal mechanism to convey meaning through sounds, that is phonation, right? And so you can have one ingredient really down, right? So let's pick a 3-ingredient meal. Let's say spaghetti and meatballs, right? Let's say like my sauce is perfection, but I've overcooked my noodles. They're nothing but like pasty mush, and my meatballs are like way overworked. They're super dense. There's no seasoning on them, right? Well, the dish is wrong. It's a bad dish, right? So we have to have everything in balance. One thing that you can generally lean towards most of the time, forward resonance, a bright and masky sound, is going to be where you want to go with both your screams and your singing, depending on what kind of singing you're trying to do, right? And a good way to kind of feel this, you know, that doesn't require any exercises or anything. If you just want to feel what forward resonance is like because you're not sure, say the letter E. E, E, E. You got some buzzing in the front. Now, people sometimes have varying levels of sensation inside of their face, and that's okay. So don't worry. You're like, oh, Mark says it feels like a bee, but I feel like it's an ant. It's like, who cares? Like, if you feel it in the front, you're on the right track, right? E, 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 E. Now, if we're going like the clean singing route, we can take that and sort of like, one of my favorite exercises to do is to make like an like you just walked into your room and you saw like your pet pooped in the corner. Oh, that's so gross. Now, when we're doing this, we need to make sure that any squeeze that's happening is in the abdominals, not the throat. A lot of times people will take forward resonance and try to project it, and they'll start squeezing their throat, right? Versus hey, hey, ooh, oh, oh, right? That's gonna get you that open, relaxed, balanced sound. Same thing with our screams, right? Let's say I'm going for just like a general mid-tone, right? Something very basic. There, sure. If I switch that with my true voice, you're gonna hear that it's very, hey, it's in the front of my face, hey, 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 versus in the back, hey, 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 right? Right? Ho, hey, 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 very much in the front. So I just wanted to point out to you that if you can make the sound, but it hurts, put the distortion on hold and focus on your resonance, getting that forward masky sound. Hey, oh, utilizing that breath support, and then come back to the grit later. Anyways, sorry, I just nerded out a little bit because I think that stuff's super fascinating. Let's go back and let's listen to this. Let's finish the song out. How about that? Yeah. Listen to the distortion and the echoing sort of panning screams. Yeah, check that out. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's so cool. Like this is one of the things about metal vocals and heavily textured vocals that I think is so neat. Like it's just so cool, right? So if I take that sound that's my version of kind of where he's at, and we could hear it on those panning like da 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 screams on the outro. Yeah, like that sort of sound, right? A lot of times people will be like, I don't like metals because there's no nuance, metal vocals because there's no nuance to them. And there are certainly times when that's true, right? Okay. But what if I take that same sound and I deliver it differently, right? So I'm just gonna kind of mess around right here. I'm not trying to do anything crazy. But let's say I take that sound, and I make it like more black metal. So I'm gonna snarl, I'm gonna grit my teeth, I'm gonna pull my lips back. What's a phrase? I'll say this is black metal, right? I don't know, right? True cult, right? So this is black metal, right? That might be a little bit more deathcore than black metal, but you can hear that sound, the way that I morph it, the filter of my mouth that I put it through has a strong impact on what genre I'm singing, right? Now let's kind of pass back and forth between a clean voice and that distortion, right? So I'm here, and then I'm here, and then I'm on this side of the line, and it's on the side, right? I'm adding a little bit of true chord phonation into that, which do not start there. If you don't have a handle on distortion, do not add true chord to your grit. Just don't do that. Start with first, get that under control. Now it sounds much more like hardcore, like something like people would two-step and like, you know, spin kick too. This is not a spin kick, but I'm not spin kicking in my office, right? So my whole point is that sometimes the delivery is what decides kind of where we fit, and also can be a tool for us to add nuance to what would otherwise be just kind of a steady maximal tone. But anyway, that's enough of that. Northlane, Clockwork, excellent song. Also, kudos to the vocalist for just like running for, and the most of that video was in kind of slow-mo, right? So running for what, probably like 7 or 8 minutes. I can't do that. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, if you had a lot of fun, if you learned something, let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Patreon if you want to support the channel more directly. However, really just your views and your time mean the most to us. It really is cool to watch the channel grow and to know that we help people out. And yeah, thank you for your kind words on all of our videos so far. I got nothing really else to say other than that song was dope. So I'll leave you with this. Many thanks. Much love. I'm out.